The Dothan City Commission has approved a request from police to amend the city's ordinance code regarding animals. They started on East Post Road. Now they are here in front of the federal courthouse here in Westchester County, getting ready to demand action. The young man who was shot is in serious condition. There is a lot of uncertainty in Montgomery today, a day that begins and ends with a lot of speculation about our governor. Alice Reynolds still hasn't been found. Today, family, friends, and EMS got into the creek to look for her. But this time, that camera up there was rolling. That investigators aren't saying much right now, but within the last half hour, fire crews wrapped up here. It was here in room 207 at the Super 8 Motel where, according to this affidavit, 34-year-old Alexander Rodriguez brought a 15-year-old girl here. There's been talks about putting a hotel right here behind the Houston County Sheriff's Office. You know, I guess that saying goes, if you can't beat them, you just join them, right? Let's turn our attention to weather. You know, it was a beautiful day out, and will it stay that way? I know someone who has that answer. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan joins us now for a first look at our weather. Hey, Lauren. The school superintendent of Enterprise City, Elba, and Coffee County all agree closing school made the most sense, even though they had no major damage or injuries.
We both agree that we do not want to have to always broadcast the internal dynamics of City Hall.
But that's just what the mayor is doing after he says City Comptroller Deborah Reynolds refuses to do her job and process over $20,000 in orders.
But lives were at risk last night, and we are resolved in addressing this issue with our reckless controller.
Mayor Thomas released his cell phone video shot last night of a DPW car engulfed in flames. The mayor says this is an example of what happens when orders don't get processed and city workers don't have the necessary parts for their cars to do their jobs.
The situation with our controller has reached a whole new level, putting lives at risk.
After Friday's press conference with the mayor, I went downstairs to the comptroller's office in City Hall to get some answers. Mayor Thomas says you aren't processing DPW's purchase orders. How do you respond?
I respond by saying that Mayor Thomas is saying that my department hasn't processed purchase orders when we have actually processed over $64 million in city bills.
The comptroller says she has invoices to refute the allegations leveled against her and that DPW did get the parts they needed.
But for him to say that we have not, or my department has failed to pay the bills, he's wrong.
Reynolds maintains she's doing her job properly. Mayor Thomas is calling on Governor Cuomo to hold a hearing in an attempt to have Reynolds removed from office. In Mount Vernon, Josh Rhoden, FiOS 1 News.
Sir. Excuse me, sir.
It happens that fast. Assistant Police Chief David Roddy goes through a simulation. The scenario is a suspicious man lurking around a business.
When I perceived the threat, he's facing me like this. So when I decided, I perceived it and I reacted to it. I went through my loop. I determined I needed to defend myself, and I fired 2 rounds.
The loop is known as the OODA loop. An officer observes, orients, decides, and then acts. Training like this makes split-second decisions easier, but never perfect. Pastor Adams is working to bridge the gap between police officers in the inner city, where he has a church. He and I put on our police duty belt and learn about our simunition gun.
When you get ready to deploy it, you're just going to simply do this thing. Pull the trigger, just like that. There's not a lot of stuff to it.
Today's first scenario is a bank robbery, and this car may be the one carrying the bad guy.
Driver, please place both hands outside the window.
The suspect jumps out. He has a gun.
We'll kill you.
Pastor Adams fires back. In just a couple of seconds, scenario 1 is over.
So the question I would ask you is when you got out of the car, what did you feel?
More horrible.
You hand me your letter. Yeah, as soon as he exited the vehicle, when you seen his hand hit on there, I seen your body language. It might even be on film if you could see it. You kind of squatted down a little bit.
You kind of got a little bit lost in there, and next thing you know, the gun was being fired at you.
Right.
And that happens constantly. So you got to experience the OODA loop he was talking about.
Scenario 2, a woman calls police because her neighbor's door is wide open. Pastor Adams is the first officer on the scene and notices the man has a gun.
Identify yourself. Somebody coming in. Oh, stop, sir.
That man Pastor Adams just shot was deaf and was no threat, just cleaning his gun and never heard the orders.
That looks really bad on the news. You gotta fix that, right? Hang on. Yeah, that's not gonna be well on the resume, right?
Adams, past critic of police tactics, has a new outlook.
I walk away from here today with some different perspectives, a deeper appreciation for law enforcement and for what they do.